Hello, welcome to September 30th, 2022. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation video. I do this each and every day in the morning, shortly after waking up, to remember my life objectives and principles, and to see how I'm doing applying these to the challenges and opportunities that I face, namely in the last 24 hours, and then also to plan for the coming day and night. So let's look at yesterday and today. Yesterday and last night. Last night I slept good. I was up only once in the night, just for normal reasons. Slept until the alarm went off, becoming more and more of a routine. I think maybe I've got a good balance here. I'm going to work every other day. So maybe that's just enough to kind of take the edge off. Also, things are going well with my projects, even though next week's going to be a challenging week. I think things are going well. So maybe that's contributing as well. Yesterday was a good, hard day. Worked from home. Really worked hard. Yeah. But I like that. Even though it takes a lot out of me, it's keeping the brain fresh. Yumiko says, she comments that it probably keeps me sharp. She said as sharp as it can be. As I get older and I feel it, beginning to diminish. So otherwise a really good day. Challenges and opportunity yesterday. Nothing more than the usual, trying to pull my sense of connection out and back into my head to only be, I can be fiddling with stuff without being connected with it. Using apathy to focus my connectedness to just those things that that are the consequence of my decisions. Well, that's an interesting way to say it. Consequence of my decisions. Those that's like leaving the wake that follows a boat, right? It spreads out across the entire lake, so it can't be that. But it is. But then it boils down to, okay, it's not the consequences, it's the decisions. I can think about the consequences in terms of making the decisions, but I need to be apathetic towards those in terms of what? Well, I think I've stumbled across something here. Okay, so as I'm driving through the traffic on my motorcycle today, I'm not connected to the people making their decisions around me. I don't have to feel anger or upset at the person who's driving like a bastard. I can make way for them and move, or try to mitigate the impact that they're having, but I don't have to feel like I had to control them in some way, damn them and curse them and honk my horn at them necessarily. Although honking the horn is sometimes a good way to bring attention to the fact that someone's being an idiot. But you get the point, right? I bring in my control to the actions that I'm taking, and I take the actions to try to subdue them. Like someone that's having a tantrum, try to subdue them while keeping my safe distance. That's a good way to see it. But as I'm going along, every action that I take reverberates, right? Like the other day, I was walking the dogs. I think it was on Monday. I was walking the dogs early in the morning, and someone had been having a party up the street, and Ollie found a big giant piece of chicken that's sitting out there for a day. Got it in his mouth, big, like someone had taken one bite of a big old chicken breast and thrown it on the ground in the grass, and he got it. He's not going to give that up. He wasn't going to give it up. So, and I wasn't going to let him have it. One, the chicken is a bit old, and two, chicken bones aren't safe for dogs, right? They can bite those, and that's what I heard at least. So I needed to get it out of his mouth, and he wasn't going to give it up. So I needed something that would cause him to open his mouth. So I noticed that across the street the sprinklers were on a house. So I led him over there, and he knew it was up as he got close. So I kind of lifted him, and he's got a full body harness, and I lifted him, and he's a small dog. Tossed him into the yard with the sprinkler going, right? So he got splashed by water. That did it. He opened his mouth. The chicken came out, landed on the grass, and then I drug him back and put him in the house. Now, So that was the action that I took. Okay, I think this is going to work to illustrate the point. That's the action that I took. All of those actions have, I think they have limited reverberations, although in terms of consequences, although there is the consequence that I protected Ollie from possibly hurting himself through having an upset stomach, having eaten old meat that's been sitting out all over a day, or maybe hurting himself worse with a chicken bone. But then as I was cleaning the dog's feet, it wasn't that I thought about it. I knew my plan was I wasn't going to leave that meat on the lawn because this was just going to push the problem down to the next dog walker. They're absentmindedly going to, their dog is going to pick that up and have the same problem. So I knew I had to go take care of that. So I settled the dogs, got a little plastic poop bag, went back, the sprinklers were still going. I had to walk out into the sprinklers just a little bit, find the meat, it was still dark, and big giant thing, and take it and wrap it up and throw it away. Got all wet in the process. But you see what I mean? The reverberations, the consequence, the wake that was following me was improved, right? I didn't leave a disturbing, and it didn't leave something that would cause upset and trouble for others by virtue of the decisions that I was making in the moment of now. But still, my focus was on the actions that I was making now. So I think that stoic resolve still applies to focusing on the one thing that I do have control over, which are my current decisions, and making current decisions that have that will have the best consequences. Okay, I think I fleshed that out pretty nicely, and I haven't even got started. Okay, excuse me, I got hiccups. That was last night and yesterday and a little bit of Monday. Okay, let's get started with the good life. My 7 principles, my 7 objectives. I need more coffee, I'm not quite dosed up. It's Friday, after all, I'm looking forward to my lunch. My 7 objectives are, number 1, to be always ready to die, to have my life in a settled, yeah, kind of a settled state with regards to my affairs, my relationships, and my life's work. My affairs are my finances, my paperwork, etc. Bank accounts, making sure that if I die that Yumiko and Emily can access the bank accounts, get the money, etc. Know where they are even. So I have a file over there that's an emergency file in the folder that they pull this out. And it's got lists all of our bank accounts and all the passwords to get in, the online URL and the username and password to get in. Now, of course, all of the bank accounts are in joint for Yumiko and I, so she won't have any trouble with that. So yeah, that's all in order. Number 2 is to my relationships. Have good, sound relationships with everybody. Right now is better than it's ever been because lately I've been having some good efforts with my mom. Things are better. So yeah, I think I'm good on that. And then 3, my work, going alone, is done. Although I'm going to work on it this weekend. I'm going to do that. I've been promising forever to tighten up that one chapter, the Path of Wildness, and I'm going to do that this weekend and really tighten that up. That's where, because I have someone that wants a copy, so that's what motivates me. I do well editing once the book is published. It's like I publish it, I do the draft as much as I can, I get it kind of tightened up, and then I publish it, it's a piece of crap. And then people start reading it, and I go, oh crap, people are starting to read it, I better make it better. And that motivates me to do all the editing. If I don't have it published, I tend to drag my feet on the editing because the editing's so hard. So I have someone that asked for a copy, someone in my life circle, and I told them, don't buy it. They were going to go to Amazon and buy it. I said, don't buy it, I'll get you a copy. It's okay, well, I don't want to give them a crap copy. So I'll fix up that Path of Wildness section. And then the book will probably be done. Will it truly ever be done? Okay, that's good. I'm still at it, just one objective. Objective number 2 is to make good and effective use of my time. Yeah, I am. 3 is to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. I do that by this very effort right now of my good life meditation. 4, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to react well, to not fly off the handle, to not let any boiling emotion bubble up to the outside. Contrary to the way I was raised, that does not mean that it builds up like a pressure cooker. You can release these things, and you can release the pent-up feelings in other ways, by bits and pieces. It is not healthy to lose undue control of one's emotions. It's certainly not grown up, certainly not stoic. Is it disingenuous? Perhaps to a degree. If, for example, I'm maintaining a countenance of peace, or a countenance of quietude at least, yet I'm a boiling, raging storm inside. The funny thing is, that's a funny thing, huh? It's so rare that ever happens anymore. I'm just speaking for myself. It's so rare that there's a boiling, raging storm inside, because all of these objectives and principles work together to mitigate that and to basically prevent that circumstance from occurring. So it's really isn't so much a matter of taming a Hulk that's boiling from inside, as much as putting a lid on a pot that might threaten to putting a lid. It's really putting a lid on a pot that's threatening to boil over and reducing the heat simultaneously, right? Contained and mitigated at the same time. That's how it works. And good emotional reactions are the result. It's less an endeavor of containment and more an activity of prevention and mature mitigation when the time in the moment. Interesting. But there are some rare occasions that I do suddenly boil, and I typically remove myself from others in that case. Take a moment, retire to the restroom, take a walk, whatever the case may be, to prevent, and give it a good think. Find some outlet. Give myself a good talking to, maybe. Yeah. Good emotional reactions is a worthwhile endeavor. Number 5 is to perform good actions, just to do good things throughout the day. 6 is to recognize my true limits, my true opportunities. 7 is to do just one thing at a time, and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully. All right, those are my 7 objectives. My 31 principles now are: 1, the principle of war, to fight against what I think is true and what others proposed that seems to be important, that they want me to believe is true. To not onboard agreement or belief without due course, at least of important things, without subjecting such things to the due diligence of reason, which is number 2. I like that, the due diligence of reason. That rolls off the tongue, don't it? The due diligence of reason, that's number 2. Reason has a few sub-principles: honesty, objectivity, doubt, and humiliation. I want to be honest with myself and others, and honest about what I'm thinking about and what I'm reviewing and considering. Objective, looking at things from multiple sides to see as many elements as I can. Honesty, objectivity, skeptic. I want to exercise doubt. I want to be a critic critic, not so much. Skeptical is the right word. A doubter, doubting Thomas maybe. And then humiliation, to be ready to welcome humiliation when my own endeavors or the endeavors of others demonstrate to me my folly and where I'm wrong. Okay, next is, am I really only on 2 so far? Wow. 3, the homunculus, the little mortal who lives inside my head, my consciousness, as a substitute for a soul. I don't think I have a soul. I don't think you do either. Any of us does. As a result, I think death is the end. But we do have this little consciousness that seems to live behind our foreheads here. We have that, at least while we're conscious. That's what we've got. I call it the homunculus, the little man within. Little woman, if you're a woman. Next is the Anchorhold. The Anchorhold is an expression that I picture a little rock sticking out of the sea, and the Anchorhold, and the sea churns, and the waves, this rises and falls, and there's tides, and the rain comes, and the wind blows, and the homunculus is like a little person on that rock, trying not to slip and fall in. That's us. One day we're going in, and in the meantime, we can never be with one another. You're on your rock, I'm on my rock, and the best we can do is wave and shout across the water. We can never be together. Even if you hold my hand, we are not together. We are all alone. Next is the home of good and evil. Right and wrong are just opinions that reside inside our head. They don't exist out there in the universe. Purpose is the next principle. I have 3 life purpose. Number 1 is to be a good husband and father, to raise my daughter to successful maturity so that she can go off and sustain her own life and become a parent of her own and keep things going. 2 is virtue, to be a virtuous man, seeking after the improvement of the well-being of as many as possible, particularly thinking creatures that are subject to suffer and to no joy. And then 3 is whatever purpose I have for my own life, I choose the purpose of sharing the story and the resulting Good Life Creed in my book, Going Alone, available on Amazon or from my website, goingalone.org. Next is atomic principle. Everything is little pieces, atoms, molecules, animated by energy. That's all. And it's all falling to pieces. This body is very soon going to, be dead and disintegrate to pieces. So is yours. Rot away or be burned up or composted, whatever you want to do. But that's going to be the end. And it's good to know that all things are impermanent. Although some things tend to stick around for a long while. These gold atoms will probably be around in this state for quite a while. Okay, next is nature. Everything has some particular nature, including all of us. It's good to recognize the nature of people, the nature of circumstance, the nature of various stages of life, the nature of whatever. I use this principle a lot in the course of my day. You keep these principles active in your mind, and then they're just there throughout the day. You're going, oh, that nature, a little apathy, a little, oh wow, my purpose, It really helps. Then comes the pirate ride. The pirate ride is just a principle that suggests that free will is an illusion. It doesn't really exist. We're not really free. We just seem that way. The universe has so much to say about every choice that we make. We are more like rivers flowing down a canyon stream, going to the left or the right by the virtue of the influence of the geology around us and the natural forces, gravity, turbulence, resistance, all these various things. The river isn't thinking left, now right, left again. It is simply obeying the mandate and the consequence of the circumstance in which the flowing water finds itself. So too you and me. We make our seeming decisions with everything around us having everything to say about it. I don't know that there's much or any willful decision at all involved. So I call that the pirate ride. I call it that because by virtue of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland, where they're seeming to be emotive characters, but we all know better. The trick is we just don't know that's the case with us too. And I can't prove that, but I think it's the case. It's an operational principle that I onboarded, that I accept. I believe in, even though I know that I'm a fool for believing it. Okay, next comes maturity and the sub-principles of wisdom, fortitude, and integrity. We are mature when we remember our past successes and failures. That's the wisdom part. We have the strength to do better in the future, and the integrity of mapping and matching our actions to our principles, so that we can do that. We can keep that internal resolution. It's a consequence. Integrity is a result. It's a consequence of wisdom, of wisdom and fortitude. And then one more thing called prudence that I'll get to in just a second. Okay, so that was maturity, wisdom, and fortitude. And then the social principle, where we need each other. Even though I wrote a book called Going Alone, it's only partially about going alone. Going alone is a means to an end. It's an endeavor. It's an adventure, if you like, that leads to a vista, to a vision. A vision sounds so mystic. Kind of, I guess it kind of is in a way. It's like a realization. Like, holy crap, we're alone. That then motivates and animates us to live better. But after that, then we're social creatures. Become a husband or a wife. Become a father or a mother. Be a son, daughter, co-worker, employee, fellow citizen. Love and take care of one another, and be social. But remember the experience of going alone, which can have profound consequences almost at any time in life. You don't have to wait for that one. I mean, the earlier the better. But sometimes it's better to. We're not ready when we're too young. I don't know. What would it be like to experience it? What would it have been like for me to have seen the great indifference at an early age? I think I did. I think I was about 28. Maybe I was 30. But I think I saw the great indifference for the first time way out in the desert. But I couldn't see it. I was too distracted, far too distracted back then. But I can go back in my mind, I can see it now. Standing in that desert plain in the middle of the night. 200 miles of empty everywhere. Great indifference yawned before me. I didn't see it. But I saw something. I glimpsed something that drew me back. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent. Come back, Kurt. That was social principle. Next comes public speaking. A reminder to be very careful. Oh, and social principle has a couple of sub-principles. Diplomacy, justice, and conspiracy. Diplomacy, because we have to work together like diplomats to work out agreements about what we're going to do together, what constitutes justice, and then to seek after that, and then conspire, work together to build a better city. Oh, sorry about that, kicked it. Then comes the public speaking, to be very careful about what I'm saying and writing, to use the best words that I possibly can, to exercise prudence. Whereas integrity is the consequence of maturity and fortitude. Prudence is the engine that we use in the moment to map and then align what we're saying and doing and speaking and writing with our principles. It's the thing that actually, it's the filter. It's the decision filter that we use to make best decisions. It's tough to do. You can't do it. It's hard to be prudent at a young age because you don't have the innate maturity yet. You don't have the wisdom that comes of making mistakes and having successes. Youth, the 20s and the 30s are really about making lots of mistakes and like Daruma, this guy here, falling down 6 times and getting up 7, right? And it's after the 7th time that you start to get a little wisdom and you help yourself to stop falling down. Okay. I just realized how appropriate it is that you sit there, you little stoic you. Then comes, so I think I did that. Okay, public speaking, small words. Oh, I forgot two parts. Small words. Uh, uh, there's something else about prudence. I think I missed something. And then, but there are two I wanted to say are rumor and gossip. Those are bad things to do. So communicate, but don't trade in rumor and gossip. And I did do that just a little bit yesterday, and I knew I was doing it at the moment. I was talking to somebody on text, and that person wanted to share a little gossip from the past, and I thought about it. I thought I'm going to indulge this just a little bit because it wasn't talking about an individual. It was talking about an institution, an organization. I think that's okay. I'm proud of myself. Good job, Kurt. That's why I let it through, because it wasn't talking about an individual. That's okay. It was more like news. I felt like gossip, but it wasn't. It feels like gossip. That's a good one too. Okay, I gotta move on. I'm running out of time. Okay, what's next? After public speaking, then comes social principle, public speaking. Is it temperance that's next? I think so. Let's check. See, all these objectives and principles, they're in the book Going Alone in a chapter called The Good Life. There it is. So, purpose, nature, social principle, yeah, public speaking. Yeah, temperance is next. Temperance, these are 5 principles that go together. Temperance, that which, temperance, life will not go well, the horror show, that which must be born, and the feast of woeful. So I'm going to speed up just a little bit because I am getting short on time. Temperance is our ability to control our consumption of everything, including life itself. Controlling our speaking, our eating, how much work we do, how much we play, how much time we spend watching TV, everything. Just self-control, exercising self-control. If you get into the habit of it, then it becomes a very powerful thing because we can temper everything in the moment, right? You can say, okay, that's just enough of that. You've had enough cookies. Next principle, so it's an action, it's a regulating force, decision making actually. Next is life will not go well. Life won't go well. It doesn't mean it's necessarily going to go bad, but it will eventually. But it's going to be tough along the way. Bits and pieces, moments here and now are going to be tough and tricky as we go. I'm going to get a flat tire on my way to work, or I will get to work and I'll feel bad. I'll kind of feeling like maybe my stomach hurts, or I'll be a little depressed, or especially if I ate too much, or we set up these patterns in our mind. We have ideas about how things are going to turn out, and then they don't turn out that way, and that's the life not going well. So one trick is to modify the pattern, to expect it, right? Like I'm doing right now. I'm planning the day to expect those things, and so it's not so much that life doesn't go well. It's just that life went. I like that. Life went. So, for example, like today, what kind of things could happen today? Well, I'm going to ride my motorcycle. I could get a flat tire on my way to work. I repeat these same things over and over again. Okay, let's say it's not the flat tire. Maybe the engine, whatever it is that causes the spark, and the engine stops, and the motorcycle just stops working, and drift to the edge, and they have to get a tow and take it to the oars, and it's going to cost me $2,000 to fix. And how do I get to work? And you see where this goes, right? I could get to work and could forget my badge. I can't get in the building. Emily could call me and have her car broken down. I keep going back to these same things. I guess it really is the same things over and over, isn't it? Yeah. Now the next one is the next principle is called the horror show. That's the stuff that you don't, are hopefully a little less common. That's when things really go bad. I always struggle here. I feel the wave of emotion rising as I even broach this topic. It's the stuff that really goes bad. It's the traffic accident that kills your kid. It's the onset of a painful disease. It's see, I can't even keep my eyes open. I hate this one. But these things could happen, and the Stoic would have to ask his or herself, am I somehow immune from these things? What life was I promised upon birth that would have be given some immunity from these things? None. Expect it. Be ready for it. Anticipate it. It's coming. It will happen. Even if it's only a moment of pain and dizziness and startled as an embolism strikes my brain and I topple over onto the ground dead. It could be a moment of horror show, or it could be a long and lingering, painful circumstance, or even worse, the same for a loved one. Gosh, damn it. Okay, I didn't say any bad words. Usually when I do this, I say 4-letter words. I guess gosh and darn it is a 4-letter word. Okay, god damn it. There, I said a 3-letter word. It's funny when the 3-letter word is worse than the 4-letter word. I guess it is, right? Because that's like that's the one unpardonable sin according to the Bible, is saying God's name in vain. So saying God damn it, I guess, is worse than anything else there. I said it twice. Doubly damned. Doubly damned. Okay, so next is after that is that which must be borne with a knee carried. We have to bear the fact of the horror show in our life. Just bear it. Just carry it. Carry the pain. As the Stoics would say, there will be 2 outcomes. One, either the pain will be so great that you will die and be relieved, or 2, the pain will just go away and you'll be okay again. In either case, it's an alright outcome. Okay, next is the Feast of Offal. It's that aforementioned explosion of upset that we throw out into the world when we don't have self-control. And I recommend against that, but I already talked about that quite a bit. Then after the Feast of Offal, what's next? Oh, the principle of distraction. We spend our lives distracting ourselves from all kinds of stuff. Well, not all kinds of stuff, from one thing, the emptiness of the universe, the apparent emptiness, the apparent absence of evidence for an existence of God. We seem to be alone, and we don't want to see that. At least a lot of us don't. So we keep ourselves busy with our work and our home and our families and our sports and our hobbies and our church and our God. I love to say that in that way, so that we don't have to see the emptiness of the universe. I choose to not distract myself as much as possible, although it's really hard to see that emptiness. That's why I have this on the cover, this art made by my daughter, that suggests the great indifference. It's hard to see, and I've only seen it a few times. Okay, the next is the best seat in the house, to be okay with who I am, where I am, and do what I am doing right now, all the while striving to improve. And then a 3-fer, the restless man, the path of wildness, and the great life adventure. The restless man is that restlessness that some of us feel typically in our 20s and our 30s, but it's there throughout life, where we kind of long for something else, that new job, new home, new circumstance. If we jump on that, if we take advantage of that and avail ourselves of that, we enter on to what I call the path of wildness, which is the way, the off-ramp from one life into another, one not real life, but one life's chapter into another, which leads into the third one, which is the great life adventure. One or more experiences in life that are formative, that help us to develop a story. And you can have more than one of them. You can have a whole bunch of little ones too if you want. Highly recommend it. Recommend doing it when you're young. It gets harder as you get older. There's a point of no return, actually. The risk of avoiding risk is next, and the sub-principle of risk management. There are 5 surface level risks in life. I call them surface level not because they're easy, but just because everybody is kind of encouraged to do this, and life is set up to help us with this. These are getting a good education, getting started with a good career, finding someone to spend your life with, start getting a home and a family, and saving for old age. The sub-principle, and this is new, that I call risk management, I only started this week, is when we manage these, we work on these to such a point that we box ourselves in, we like paint ourselves into a corner, that our life is full of staid and steady and comfortable routines that we don't have to break ourselves out of, and we wind up stuck. I mean, I've met lots of people who are stuck, as Thoreau would say, walking down the course of life he was talking about the farmer, carrying his acres of land upon his back with his barn and his home and his tractor. Well, there were no tractors in the 19th century, but you know what I mean, his plow, etc. Because of all the stuff that he did to mitigate all these risks, he's now burdened down. That's a risk. Okay, the reason I call it the risk of avoiding risk is because there's another one, the deep risk. The deep risk is just one, finding oneself. It's hard to find oneself when you're encumbered with all of these things. So I recommend attend to that deep one before this happens. Go deep after college, from 24, 25, all the way to 30. Give yourself that time for the great life adventure. Get on the path of wildness. Take the great life adventure. Take risks. Do all kinds of stuff like that, and then come back to us to endeavor upon the surface level risks. And then if you find yourself risk managed into a boxed in corner, at least you've attended early on in life, you've assuaged the deep level risk, you did it, and you've got your story and your remembrance, and you won't be wanting for that, because you can't have it later. You can't. There's a point of no return. It's around, I'm going to hazard a guess, around 45, 50, between 45 and 55, when the opportunity is past. You just can't do it. And then all you can do after that is play golf, go on a cruise, get a motor home, visit the grandkids, take a trip to Hawaii. Maybe if you're lucky, go to what's that place up Pocachipu, that city in the sky down in South Central America, Chupacabra. I don't remember what it's called. Now, I never went that route, so I don't know. But from all appearances, it's not the same. It's not the same because you're too smart, you're too old, you're too rich, you're too wise, you're too scared, you're too frail, you're too wise. That's the key thing. It's the stupidity of youth that allows them to take steps where consequences can be grave, yet the outcome can be profound. Sometimes the greatest discoveries are made when we're lost. Old people don't want to be lost. Their discoveries are, therefore, perhaps a bit mundane. So take that great life adventure early on. Step upon the path of wildness in your mid-20s. Assuage the deep level risk. Attend to the surface level risks. And get your great life adventure and make the best life that you can. Okay, after this is the risk of avoiding risk comes sin and damnation. There are 7 sins in my worldview. These are falsity, credulity. Falsity, being untrue. Credulity, believing things too readily. Faith, basing belief upon belief. Ridiculous. I believe it because I believe it, right? What is that? That's nothing. Faith, superstition, believing things that are categorically nonsense. Dogma, believing things because of a dogmatic, blessed tradition or great canonical text that everybody's always believed. And look at this is how my family does things, right? And that's no good reasons to believe. It's good reason to maybe give it a close look, but not necessarily to believe it. Still has to suffer and weather the due diligence of reason. Authority, believing something because you're really impressed by or want to be comforted by or led by someone who seems to know. And then lastly, sin. Oh, and there's 8 actually, not sin, rumor and gossip. Don't do those things. Those are nasty. All of these things lead to sin and damnation in the here and now, because you're a damned liar, a damned fool, or a damned gossip or a rumor monger. Okay, sin and damnation. Oh, complete oblivion after you're dead. That's it. You're gonna die. You're gonna rot. Body's gonna go away. There's nothing left. It's oblivion forever. No final reunion. We're not gonna see our loved ones again. No final reconciliation. We're never gonna have a chance to reconcile any differences. There'll be no final justice because there's no soul, no God, no heaven, no hell, no afterlife. This is all we get. So better make good use of today, right now. Okay, we're almost there. That was the complete oblivion. The bullseye aim, we shoot for the mark, but we usually miss. Just to expect to not always get it right. Uphill climb, up we go. Today, higher than yesterday. Tomorrow, higher than today. Turn and look at that view. You earned it. And then uphill climb, arena and utility. Life is an arena for the use of our principles in the pursuit of our objectives. Our utility, nothing is enough. Get rid of all the crap. Build a foundation upon something in here. I mean, you need some stuff. You need measuring cups. Otherwise, you won't know how much flour to put in to make your muffins. You need a bookshelf to organize your books, maybe, or just stack them on the ground. You see the point, but you don't need 3 TVs. You don't need that expensive car. So much you don't need. It's all just a distraction anyway. Get past the distraction, maybe. All right, the last one is the principle of fun. A reminder to have fun. I mean, what the hell? You're going to be dead soon. I mean, real soon. Why not enjoy life? I'm going to have fun today, and I'm going to look forward to fun tomorrow, and I'm going to remember the fun I had yesterday. So for today, what am I going to do that's fun today? Well, I'm going to enjoy my motorcycle ride to work. I always enjoy that. That's great fun. I'm going to enjoy my lunch today. For my Fridays on when I'm at work, I go out and have a nice lunch at a Mexican restaurant. I'm going to enjoy that. That's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy seeing my coworkers. I'm going to enjoy my evening with my wife. I'm going to stop and we'll have some wine, or I'll stop and get some beer. We'll enjoy watching a show. There's a new Countryside Living we're going to watch tonight. I can't wait to watch that. An episode on a YouTube series that we watch. And then tomorrow, or this weekend, I'm going to make a video of the place to capture this. And then we'll start taking it apart to get ready for our move. That's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy shopping for electric bicycles and a surfboard. That's going to be fun. And then as for remembrance, I'm going to remember the good times of my family in the past, the adventures that I've had, etc., etc. Yeah, I'm jazzed. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm going to have fun with my dogs, too, and my wife. I love my wife. Okay, I'm done with that. Let me do the day. I'm going to turn this off in just a second. I'm going to read my Bible, or edit one page of my book, Freeway Bible Study. I'll feed the dogs, walk the dogs, get to work, start my day. I hope you have a good day. I'm going to do my best. Be safe, but not too safe. Talk to you later. Oh, I said it. Yeah, be safe, but not too safe. Bye-bye.